Welcome back to another episode of my 50 States hike. Today I am in Utah, southeast Utah, around Blanding, Utah, in the Cedar Mesa area. We are going to hike to Cold Springs Cave right along Comb Ridge. And then we'll go to the cave. We'll pass that. We will go up to Comb Ridge and take a look there and go around. This is one of my favorite areas to hike in. We're here before we go today, before we do a 3-day backpacking trip in the next couple days. So follow along as we go check out this new area back here. Really excited about it. All right, we had to cross that little wash there. A little steep due to all the erosion. Now we're on a pretty flat hike. I don't think there's much elevation gain during this whole thing. If we look, the Cold Spring is actually right there. We're gonna work our way up to the ridge. Once we get done exploring that, there should be some ruins back there. One thing you need to be careful of when you're hiking out here in the Utah desert is not stepping on this soil here. This is called cryptobiotic soil. It's a symbiotic relationship, and little tufts of cryptobiotic soil like that could be close to 100 plus years old. It's the first type of organism that inhabits the sandstone area and makes way for the soil. So you really want to avoid stepping on those. I'm actually pretty surprised to see this much of a trail. Looks like it used to be an all 2 track here. A lot of these sites here are a little less kind of trail in, but all up and down Comb Wash here. Almost anywhere you have these little side canyons, there's usually some sort of ruin in there. We've done most of them up here, but this is one that we skipped for some reason. So trying to pick that up today. Dropping down into another little gully here. It's probably Comb Wash, I think is what this one is called. It runs all the way along the base of Comb Ridge. I always enjoy hiking out here. A lot of times it's almost a choose your own adventure as you try to stay off the cryptobiotic soil and follow the trails. We did find it again, but it can be a little hit and miss on the actual trail itself. But we're on a really good one now. And we got some friends here. Hopefully he'll just let us pass right on by. If not, this could be my last video. If he does charge us, please make him into a juicy steak for somebody. Wow, it looks like they have GPS on their necks. That's one way not to lose your cattle. Pretty cool. Cade just found our first pot shard of this trip. I was just jokingly, whoever finds the first one wins, and like 5 minutes later he finds it. So if you happen to find some of these, take a look, but please leave them where they're at. No souvenirs. All right, we have a overhang right up in front of us. I don't think this is a cave that we're looking for. I think it has a different angle maybe, but there are some structures up in here. All right, this was the area we were looking at. We're just coming in to a different area, and right up here and there's a lot of structures, as well as some down here. Come up and take a look. We're entering this from the eastern side here. Got our first structure. This is the other side of that built-up wall that we showed there. But what's really cool is above here there are some, that'd be pictographs, handprints. We got a bunch of remnants of grooves where they used to grind their corn in here. This is why I come here every spring break. Still standing after what, 1,000+ years, close to it. Some more, ooh, small children hand prints there. Ooh, a lot of handprints. Wow, so many. One of my favorites with the spiral in there. I have a tattoo of that. Small room. Just getting ready to enter the big cave area, and this is kind of on the outer rim of it here. Looking at this structure, if I had to guess, this is probably the kiva. It's very circular. It's got benches over here. Looks like it's an area that would exit out the smoke. So I'm guessing this was their kiva. Looking at the kiva from the other side. Right behind it, there's another structure here. I like how you can see that whole mantle is held up by a single rock. Pretty cool. Not sure if this will come up, but it says Cold Cave Spring, 1892, HAEE underneath it. This must have been a pretty big complex at one point in time. CQ just found this real cool petroglyph. I always gotta stop and think, is it a pictograph or petroglyph? I think they pet these into the rock, where pictographs are the pictures they paint. We did a pretty good exploration of the cave there. It's always cool to find pottery and pictographs and petroglyphs. Now what we're gonna do, the cave is back that way. We're gonna work our way up here to the ridge, head that way a little bit, and come down a different little canyon system to make it a nice little loop, just to make it a little more interesting today. Waiting for Cade to catch up. He took a slightly different route. A nice little surprise as I work my way up. My first wildflowers of the year that I've seen. All right, we're scrambling a little bit to get up here, but it's good sandstone, lots of good friction here. Heading towards the top of Comb Ridge eventually. Thought we were almost there, but keeps teasing us a little bit with these false summits. We just found another set of ruins, the next canyon over. hard to see, but they're right in there and down below. I don't know if we can get to them or not. Maybe we'll try. We'll see. All right, I don't think we're gonna quite make it to the edge of Comb Ridge, which is over there, unless we decide to drop down here and do it and see what CQ wants to do. But I did find an exit canyon below those ruins, which I think if we can get down a little farther will take us back to the car. So we'll see what we can find here. All right, so the canyon down there beneath those ruins I was hoping to get to kind of got cliffed out up here. Could go back and go around. I'm not sure if CQ's up for that or not. We'll see. It'd be cool to go down that canyon. Maybe I can talk him into it. We'll go see what happens. We got to go up this little section that we just came down though. So here goes nothing. All right, now we're on to plan number 14, I think. We're gonna head down here and then take us around that area that it couldn't get down from that cliff. I think this will work. If not, I'm pretty sure this canyon right in front of us leads us back to the cave area. So right there in front of us is where we got cliffed out. So we drop back down. We're gonna go around that and catch it out of the canyon now, if all goes well. Made our way around that prow and almost into the canyon. We want to exit out of here. This is the canyon. We're gonna head down. There was that ruin above it. I'm pretty sure we're not gonna be able to get to it. The sides look a little too steep. Not sure we'll even be able to see it from down here, but we'll give it our best shot to at least take a look at it from down below. Into the canyon we go. Like I said, my only worry is if there's some dry waterfalls that we can't get around, so hopefully there won't be any there. Or at least, if there are, we'll be able to skirt around the sides of it. This cave would be really grumpy if we have to come back. And I'll never hear the end of it. I believe this slab right in front of me is the key to getting up to that ruin. I think it's right up along that cliff line there. Oh, I see possibilities, but not with just me and CQ along. It looks like we are almost out of the canyon here. The walls are not as steep as they were. It's widening up a little bit. If we stay on this, it should empty into Comb Wash. And we just have to get back to our car from there. All right, we made it back to the trail here. Right up here is where we went up, and then we came down this canyon here. Thank you all for sticking around for another 50 States adventure. This was a great one. I love when we get off trail like that. It makes it a lot more fun to do a little adventure and just makes it a little more exciting. Thanks for sticking around. Hope you stick around for more videos. We have more adventures here in Utah before we leave. If you stick around a little bit longer on this video, maybe we'll throw in some bonus footage from our backpacking trip down to Fish and Owl Canyons, if I remember. If not, guys, thanks for coming along, and we'll see you on our next adventure. Until then, hike on.